afternoon. So we're gonna get back to work. Basically, so what happened this morning? I hope, by the way, you all had a great lunchtime. This morning, basically, we started cleaning stuff here for the actual engine. So we started cleaning the pistons. We have 4 of them done. So this afternoon, the goal is to finish the 4 others, and after that, we're gonna be adding, if it's working, the flywheel at the back here, flywheel that I have on this side that we are also going to clean up. Pretty straightforward on that. And then yeah, that's the goal for today, so that way tomorrow we will be ready to just start working on the engine, like assembling the pistons and testing the clearance for them. So this is the idea. Then after that, if I'm not wrong, and let's check, because I've been talking about it quite a few times, but basically what we're looking for is to do this part here, so testing and measuring the clearance of the piston. And once this is done, if I'm not wrong, yeah, testing also the spacing in between both pistons. We're gonna be starting to degree our camshaft and know exactly, install and roughly position the degree wheel. So we're gonna know pretty much where our top dead center with the piston in place is going to be. So we're gonna be able to do that. And once this is done, I think we're getting pretty much over our things here. So yeah, top dead center there, degreeing camshaft, find through top dead center, perfect. Basically it's gonna be when the piston on number 1 is reaching the top, we're gonna find the exact position, mark it, then when it's starting to go back, it's gonna be like maybe, I would say, if I'm looking here, somewhere around 15 and 20 degrees of difference on the crank. And at some point, the piston's gonna start moving back down, and the middle in between those 2 measurements. So the moment it reaches its highest point and the moment it leaves it, the in between of those, the middle is gonna be our true the top dead center. So that's what we're gonna do. So this is the goal for the week, to have all that done. And then after that, we're going to reassemble part of... Oh, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, we're gonna be measuring part of because I want to say it. Yeah, we're gonna... okay, and we're gonna have to install the heads to know the push rod and everything. Yeah, so we're gonna move forward to installing valve trains and stuff, and we're gonna check for everything there. I don't know if we have those fake spring that's gonna be included with the kit to measure. I don't think it will be the case. So yeah, so we'll see that. Basically what I'm looking for right now is to see what is left to do. At the end of the week, we should be close to having everything done and finished, and we're gonna go in the last step, one of the last step at least. Yeah, the last step of all is the piston ring. So we're getting there. I didn't thought about the head coming first there, but that does make sense. We're gonna have to install the cylinder head, one of them at least, and test the clearance and stuff. So, well, that makes sense at the same time. Yeah, so we're gonna go and start working on that. So let's go, let's clean those stuff, and that's gonna give us a rough idea of what we have to do and is left to do actually. To be fair, if I'm looking for the fake spring, because basically you can have a fake valve spring to just add a bit of tension without forcing on it really. If I'm looking for that, maybe I'm gonna order some. If I don't have any coming with one kit I'm waiting for. And if I do so, we're gonna start with piston ring first. Honestly, I feel like we might go over a little bit of beginning of next week to complete the pre-assembly, because it's still some super long like assembling procedure right there. But hey, one thing at a time. Also, one thing I did realize that we haven't done this morning is that we're gonna have to replace the bolts for the connecting rod cap here. So these bolts we're gonna have to, let me show you there, dual side. There you go. So these bolts, they are free and I cannot remove them right now. So I'm gonna have to check how we remove those, because basically I buy some brand new one for the entire set of piston. Just, you know, making sure we are starting brand new. These are having quite a lot of pressure through them. So there's quite a bit of stress on them. So better be safe than sorry. So there we go. All right, so from now, let's get back into it and start basically working on our next set of pistons. So I have one over here. There, I'm gonna go straight ahead and start grabbing two more. Or I can get them all out of the box actually. There we go, there we go. And last one over here. Boom. So this way we have a full set of piston here. So for already done, we're going to move on those one. So let's start by loosening the cap. That one did a little bit of surface rust here, so we're gonna have to clean that up. Clean that up a little bit. Then we're gonna move forward just a tiny bit. I'm gonna make sure they haven't done on all of them. No, that one seems pretty clear. That one just a touch at the bottom. And a bit of the same on that one. So I think there was a bit of humidity trap at the bottom there, which is not the greatest, but not the worst at the same time. So let's go. And I already think that we're gonna miss some paper towel during the afternoon, but hey, I'm gonna go and grab some more inside the house if needed. So if I see the rust is a bit too present in here, I might use a bit of Scotch-Brite like we did in the cylinder, just to remove that from the surface. The idea is not to scratch it, it's really just to improve the rust, like the slight rust that happened in here, like remove that from the assembly there, because we don't want that. Oh no, no, no. All right, so let's go. I think this afternoon I might put the lo-fi a bit higher because I'm not talking much for that. There you go. And since it seems like this Monday is gonna be quite calm, might as well. Like I already said this morning, I won't be streaming later than 4 today, just because I have a class tonight and I have to be there a bit sooner than later, but shouldn't be too bad. Oh yeah, we have a bit of surface rust that happened on that piston, that connecting rod there. Not the greatest. But here most of it has been removed on the bearing surface, so that's good. Might still grab the Scotch-Brite that we had this morning over there, just to test it without getting too crazy with it. So I'm gonna grab the small piece here actually. Like since we have a scratch part of the engine with it, I don't want to be going too crazy, so I'm gonna go like this. Just want to remove without damaging. Something like that. Because I don't want to be removing any material from that, because that will be a bad thing for the engine. But there you go. It just helped remove a few spots of rust in there, so now we're good. Yep, we're definitely going to be out of paper towels soon, so we're gonna have to take care of that, which means going inside the house and just grabbing some more. There we go. Now that surface just went back to normal. Over there. Let's keep going. Since I can see that we have a bit of surface rust there, I'm gonna try to remove that first. Because after that, these are going to live in oil, which is good for them. And ideally, the car is not going to get parked for a long time anywhere soon, so we shouldn't have that come back on those at any point. I will put my coffee on that other table because I'm shaking that one pretty hard. Cool. That's pretty good. Now let's do that part here. Same here, just going with a touch of Scotch-Brite. Nothing too crazy. Because I don't think that's ideal on bearing surface, but one thing that's less ideal than that is definitely rust. So there we go, we just removed a few spots that were visible down there. Now let's move to the top. The side, I'm not too worried about those. People honestly over YouTube are putting anything inside their LS. Like I've seen people using like crunchy but like really rusty thing from the junkyard and being like, yeah, that's gonna be perfect. There we go. Let's clean that center hole there. Wonder if I will be even better with that one here actually. Yeah, I think this is even scratching more. There we go. I don't want to throw it on the ground. Let's try to just do that. We have dirt down there, so let's reach that. That's the exact reason we're doing all that. Removing that dirt that we can find that might have gone unnoticed for too long, and we don't want that to get into our oil system, because that will suck. Like literally. We don't want no carnage inside the engine, right? Right, so this is done, this is done, this is good. Let's clean that. Now the groove, our favorite part. So I think with that one, I'm gonna start with the top groove, because this is definitely the one that's the worst. I'm gonna try to fold that and send that in there. Quite dirty. You're having a good enough view. There we go. I'm gonna try to keep going on that. Oh yeah. Let's remove that junk. Wait. There we go. That one's done. Still dirty. Like I said, we're gonna make a second pass on it on our last cleanup before installing the piston ring. But for now, most of it has been removed, which is perfect for our needs. There we go. Let's grab that for the big groove at the bottom there. There, that groove's good. Because basically we have a spot that allows a bit of oil to get in there, so that's what I'm cleaning up right now. And then we're gonna be able to send that through the big groove like so and start going around. Just like that, we're gonna have all our things cleaned up. Hey! It's quite interesting to have like such an important part of your build in your hand right there. Kind of crazy. All shiny. There you go. Let's put that on the table so it dries. There. Next one. 3 left to go. And not that many paper towels in here. Bit of coffee. Yeah, that one had a bit of well, in fact, all of these seems to have it a little bit harder at the bottom of the box. The bearing surface is good there, but that side is not that good. Not too bad, not crazy good. Better than the previous one overall. Okay, well, let's go. So I'm gonna use a bit of Scotch-Brite just on that side here because I can see a bit of surface rust. Like I said, not great, not ideal, but hey, we have to deal with that. The Scotch-Brite is really working well at removing all those things. Oh la la. Oh, it was nasty actually, my Scotch-Brite. Oh crap. I think we're gonna change our mineral spirit there to have something a bit cleaner than that. I'm gonna be happy to have about 2 bottles of that. But yeah, the surface is coming back way better there. All right, let's change our mineral spirit there. I'm just gonna make sure to clean that as much as possible. I wasn't expecting that, to be fair. There we go. And then take the new bottle. There we go. Brand new. Now that the box is empty, I can push it aside. All right. Let's keep going. There we go, that's all cleaned up on top. Yeah. go. Now the bottom part of the connecting rod. There we go. That surface here is in really good shape compared to the other side of the cap, which is cool. It's actually really a good news. Bottom there. Let's grab all the dirt. Push that out. I'm gonna make sure to use a bit of compressed air at the end before using those, or tomorrow morning when they are as dry as possible. We're gonna use some compressed air to make sure we don't have a bit of paper towel stuck down there and about anywhere actually. So yep, tomorrow morning I feel like it will be a good thing to replace those. What's up, Michael?
Did you know with Amazon Prime you get a free sub every month?
Hello, Jenny.
Any primers?
Hello there, beauty. So yep, tomorrow we'll try to replace the connecting rod bolts right away. How you doing? How's your day going? Did you successfully reach the job today? I hope so. Otherwise you're gonna be jobless just like me. On freaking employment insurance, damn. There we go, I'm gonna actually do that right away. Don't know if you're allowed to chat or not right now, or if you're still at the job. Maybe that's what it is. Good. Nope, was at the university talking to some department heads about my certs and such. Oh, nice, nice, nice. Good job. Good job. So you're back home already? Nice. That's a lovely day. Hey, you know what? Like I had my swag. Living high is not a crime to do to get the lion, and I got one this morning on a scab run on street before coming in stream. They are helping me get my state and federal licensing in line so I can have all the for not just electrician but also mechanic. Oh, nice, that's cool. Yeah, progression. And yeah, basically I just found a level 44 that died to a scab in Pinewood, and he had a lion in his backpack. I was like, no shot. So I grabbed it and ran as fast as I could to an extract, and that was like a minute after coming across the PMC and talking to him like, hey, I just spawned, I have sweet nothing. And he was like, well, I don't want to go co-op extract because like I have a quest to do, but you can go ahead, I won't kill you. And I was like, oh, thank you. And I just went up to the mall and found that guy in Pinewood. Imagine, greatest story ever. So many weird scav in the last 2 days. So I'll be doing 8 for Monday, Thursday for 2 years. That's cool. With 4 weeks break each year. And the last 6 months I'll do night school also for welding. What? Damn, that's cool. Okay, so you basically have to go back to school, but it's gonna be like a license for absolutely everything instead of just one specific thing, the electrical part. So that's what I'm understanding there. So you have to take a class because they were not giving you the license through just the experience you had so far, but at least you're gonna get something even better in the end and be like even like overqualified, not overqualified, but like more qualified for any job you get after that. That's right. Same program, so for a few weeks we do PLC motor control. It's all continuing education to renew all my licenses. On my license and then also exceed what I had. Nice, that's cool. That's really, really cool. Well, congrats, man. Motor control. Oh, now we're talking. That might be something interesting. All right, you want me to give you a project? When you're gonna be doing motor control, if you're doing small motor, like small stepper motor, think of it as if I'm giving a signal like voltage to it from 0 to 5 volts, how can we make something simple with an Arduino to, and it's probably not that hard to do, but basically to convert that signal to driving a stepper motor. And so we could be or brushless motor, whatever, but we could be using that as a speed signal inside the car. Because you know what, having a module converting like a digital signal to a mechanical one for old dashboard, it's about $600 US. So if you think of it, building one your own is really, really a stone because Arduino costs $15, stepper motor $5 on eBay, and so on. So yeah, you can make a speed signal box. I was looking into the diagram. I'll send you some. Whoa, let's go! Yes, that's exactly what I want to do. It's just that I don't have the knowledge yet to do it myself right now, but like I'm really interested in those because like I said, a box that's like waterproof so you can put it in the engine bay, which I don't care at all. I will put it somewhere under the dashboard at this point. Well, it's $600. That's way too pricey, but there's just one company doing that, so they can just put whatever price they want, and it's pretty much what people are going to pay. But yeah, I'm gonna have like an output from the Haltech ECU that is the speed, so I just need to look how it's reacting and like what's the kind of signal I have, if it's a resistance or a voltage or anything. Well, it's gonna be a voltage, pretty sure. So from there we can start working on well, I can start working. Let you explain it already. There are some that read the gear and speed of drive shaft. Yeah, exactly. That's basically what yeah, I mean, I have the theoretical knowledge. I just never done something like that, so that's why I'm like, ugh, that looks spooky. But basically, yeah, it's just going from taking a small driver that takes an input, have an Arduino say, okay, for whatever input I get from that, it's basically an if statement, the software behind it. Like, if I'm going X amount of, if I receive X amount of voltage through that input, I need to output a signal that will make the stepper motor spin at that amount of RPM. and so on. So, and like check that every half second, every millisecond, whatever you can make it, and like, yeah, just readjust in between. Because basically, as long as the cable's turning behind, you could have something 10 inches long, 12 inches long, connected to the box, the set box, have that spin, like the stepper motor spin, and basically you can go with a GPS on the highway, run 100 kilometers per hour, and set your timing there. Like you could have someone basically changing that to know, okay, on the GPS signal, I have 100 kilometers per hour. The stepper motor right now is giving me, let's say, 70 kilometers per hour. Well, you can increase that. For that amount of voltage, you have to go to that amount of rotation per minute, and then whoop, you will have the proper signal there. So I think that's that easy, but yeah, it's not that easy to put in place. I think because I've never done that, so I will need to learn how to use Arduino and stuff like that. But yeah, Arduino, small driver, and basically just converting one signal to another through the Arduino, so that the driver motor, the driver is just like telling the motor to do what we want to do. All right, let's keep going. 2 piston left to clean. We might be okay. We might have enough paper towel. We'll see. All right, that's gonna be another use for the little thingy here, because there's just slight rusty dots, so we're just going to make sure we are clear. I feel like it will be a fun project to do that, and that's something I could do at the beginning of summer, so that when we want to try that, like I don't need that to work for testing the car the first few times, but I'm gonna need my speed eventually to make the car 100% legal on the visible things, because it's not going to be 100% legal everywhere. But shh, we don't talk about it. We don't talk on stream about it, right? I mean, I'm kidding. It's gonna be 100% legal, I swear. Look, yes. Yeah, we want digital input, mechanical output for the gauge. And like, basically on the transmission, and I'm looking there because I see it there, but basically we have like a speed sensor on it that I was supposed to convert to, so this may gross you out. Oh. But basically I was supposed to switch the digital output of the transmission to a mechanical one that you can put on T56. However, I need that in the end to connect to the ECU, so I cannot do that. So, but I'm finding info about T5 conversion on Mustang Forum. I'm not going T5, T56 is over there. What do you mean converting what? Because I don't want, all right, restriction, we need to keep the original gauge. No digital gauge in there, that's for sure. I want to have the original dashboard and everything. Like, that's a thing I really, really enjoy. So I won't remove anything. I know there is T6 and TKO, yeah, exactly. But yeah, so basically there's no way we're talking about T55 conversion, because yeah, we're keeping that $6,000 transmission for sure. The only reason I didn't went with a T5 or a TKO or something like that is because that T56 is handling even more. Go original some models. Oh, that could be interesting. But yeah, basically, like I said, I know how to do it if I wanted with the T56, but I need the digital input on the ECU. So that's where it's getting a bit of a troubleshooting. So the ideal thing, like the new Coretta 6 RTKO in a, oh, that's cool. Because yeah, well, are they using a box if you're reading? Because someone I know who's working on an old Camaro is basically like a 68 Camaro, I think, is basically doing that, but with the box I was talking about, that is $600. For $600, I will rather try to do it myself first. Because yeah, basically, like I'm saying, if I'm taking the Altec output for a signal for the gauge, well, I should be normally able to convert that with an Arduino to use a driver to run the cable, a driver and a motor to drive that cable, and from there that will be GG. Like it wouldn't be that much of a deal, just adjusting some parameters, finding the right math behind that, but behind the conversion. But basically the worst will be done. It's just hooking all that together, like the driver to the motor and the Arduino converting that signal from the Haltech ECU to that driver. So that's where I need to look. That's what I need to look for. But I'm not there in the build. If you have an anchor hole, you could use a VSS color, but your case is new, so that's a no-go. Oh yeah. What is a VSS color? I don't know what that is. There we go. There we go. Tomorrow we're gonna make sure that all the bearing surface are really good before throwing that in there. But otherwise we're looking great right now. The spot where I'm having the amp loss when I turn over my motor, so it won't run. Oh, it's the thing I was explaining that goes on drive shaft in my old Toyota. It's what sends the mechanical signal to speedo, an electronic signal. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. I get it. Yeah, I just don't know how, because basically since the ECU is made to be driven with the manual, I mean, probably you can convert that, but I don't know at which extent, because basically what I was about to say is that we need to keep in mind that we cannot mess too much with those signal and stuff, and like on your Toyota, it's both, it's acting for doing both, so there's probably a box somewhere spinning, like converting and spinning the cable for the gauge, right? There's probably something similar, but that might not apply for a Nissan. Oh, okay, that's why the case has the hole for it. Yeah. Yep, I think I'm gonna keep looking for how to make basically, like I'm gonna take a look on the Haltech website to see what kind of signal we're getting out of out of the odometer output from the ECU, and then because basically they are using that for their personal dashboard, but it is digital dashboard, so it is a screen, so that's why it won't apply to us directly, but like after that we could convert that. That's what I'm gonna look for that. Yeah, I mean, Alltech has a really good service usually, so you can call them and have an answer that is pretty crazy most of the time. I'm just going to try to find the info first by myself, cause like, you know, I hate calling people basically. But after that, yeah, that's for sure. I'm gonna look for it. Well, like I said, Summit, I'm pretty sure they will just tell me the bugs they are selling from those guys. That is freaking $600. Like, it's the easiest way to do it, basically. Because that bugs, you use whatever speed signal you have, or I think there's even a kit looking like the one you're talking about, where it looks at the drive shaft rotation, and you just input the good perimeter on it. Like, I think it's just a wheel on top of the box that you can tell the diff ratio and the size of your wheel, and you're gonna have something super precise within like a few kilometers per hour of difference. So it's really nuts what they do, but like, again, I don't want to pay the price. There's a few stuff like that I'm not willing to pay. Right, that one had some dirt that will not go anywhere. First one we get that is so messy. All right, so we are one groove done, few more to go. I'm gonna change again my paper towel. Oh no, we're gonna be missing like one sheet or two at the end. I can see it. Like, we're getting at the end of the roll right before the last piston. It's easy if you got money or don't have restriction, it will be easy for Speed to do all digital and just do multiple sensors and tell the ECU your flywheel size, tire size. Yeah, I know. And basically that's what the Alltech ECU is gonna do, but again, it's just because I don't want to put a digital gauge in there. If I was putting a digital gauge, I already have the output from the ECU telling me what the speed and everything. It's just that now I need to convert that signal to mechanical if I want to keep the OEM style gauge. This is the biggest constraint I'm putting to myself. But I love the old school gauge all molded in one in the dashboard, so I don't want to be like starting to hack all that. Yeah, honestly, that's crazy. Just like I fuck up my odometer, the speedometer on the Camaro is off by like 5-7 kilometers per hour at 100, just because I put bigger tire on it to get an inch higher off the ground for winter driving. Like, that was totally on purpose, and I'm all good with that. It's just you need to know it, because when you're driving basically 100, you're close to 110 actually. So usually I'm driving on the highway in the safe zone of 115, I will say, like 15 over. the ultimate rally machine. Yes and no, it's too rusty for that because I thought about it at some point. But yeah, I think it's just too bad and rusty. There will be too much work for it to be a proper car for that. But I thought about it, honestly. We were chatting about that, me and my friend, for quite a while, like how cool it will be. Alright, get in there and grab that piece of towel out, please. Did we grab it? Seems like we did. Oh yeah, brother. Oh yeah, it's right there. All right, let's finish cleaning that. Shining. There we go, one more to go. All right, I'm gonna try to do the bottom with that one, so we might be okay to do the top section there. With what we have left. Ooh, that one got a little bit of rust happening on it. Yikes. Should have took them out and oil all of them sometime during summer, but hey, like the bearing surface are still quite good. There's just a few spots in there. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it, like just a bunch of small little spots, but otherwise we're gonna be good. It's the outside that got a bit rusty, but it's okay, and it's not rusty, it's just a light layer of rust. So we're gonna go ahead, start by just putting a bit of moist in there and do that. And go with this Scotch Brite. Just added a bit of pressure without going crazy, and just removing those few rusty points on the bearing surface, the outer shell as they call it, and therefore we are back to something really good looking. There we go. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see the difference. So we're not scratching the surface by itself, we're just removing the gunk in it, so that way we are all Gucci. One good thing to know, guys, if you're having a surface that gets rusted and you're removing the rust, it will tend to rust a bit easier afterwards. So in that case, that means that some parts of the connecting rod, it will be a really good thing that the car doesn't stay like not running for like years on the side, because that will mean probably some of that rust coming back. As long as the engine's gonna be running and they are going to get oily, we don't have to worry about them. right. Here we go for that last cap. We're doing good. Let's extend the life of our towels. Yeah, it's funny, it's really the cap that got a bit rusty, but all the main bearings, well, not the main, but like the connecting rod side bearings are all Gucci. Like they are really in good shape, so hey, easy, stonk. There we go. So I'm gonna throw that one away and we're gonna move to the head. We have 2 towels left. We're gonna get there. I'm gonna need some more because I need to clean the flywheel also. So, you know, I'm fighting for no reason at all right now. All right, now let's do the inside of the piston. All right, I'm gonna have to check for something also, because I realized that some of them, I have some drilled hole in here, and some doesn't have any. So we're gonna have to check if it, quick like this, it seems like we might have to match one with drilled hole with one with no drilled hole, because we have 4 of them with holes, 4 of them without holes, which will, I'll say, make sense to have one of each per bearing basically. But I'm gonna have to maybe search for it, because like I said, I want to make sure that when I'm gonna take my measurement on the bearing surface and everything, that I'm gonna be basically going through them and marking in my cell phone which was where. So for, let's say, if WN is at the front, I want to put the WN at the front again. So we're gonna have to check for those. And see if it's changing something. I could maybe grab also a food scale to see, to just measure them and see if there's a difference in weight between both of them, because that could give us an idea if we have to take care of that, or if we don't really matter, because if they are all the same weight, it doesn't change anything on the rotating assembly. But if they are not, it could be something that we need to consider. I think I forgot to do the floating pin on the other one. There we go. I'm gonna do that on this one too. all those to the ground. There we go. All right. There we go. Let's go around the entire piston right now because I saw there was a bit of schmutz around it. And then we're gonna move forward to cleaning the ringland. And once the ringland is clean, we're gonna be done with piston. Well, we're gonna have the top of the head, but after that, we're gonna be done. That's gonna be GG progression. There we go. So the ring at the top, the groove at the bottom, I mean, and the one at the middle were pretty clean. Now let's see how dirty is the one at the top, the really tight one. We all already know the answer since we have done 7 of them so far, and it is pretty disturbing. The thing I hate, and I won't think too much about it, oh, it's actually not too bad so far, but is that everything has been balanced with probably that goo in there. But I mean, it's part of the game, like you cannot be 100% precise at all time with those, and it's normal. I mean, they already cleaned them up pretty well at the machine shop because these had a bit of carbon on them and they are now pretty shiny compared to what they were. There we go. Let's go another time all around. I think I just pushed that out. I'm gonna reinstall it. Worth it. It's not like it was a big layer of goo, so it won't make that much of a difference in the end, but yeah. All right, there we go. Boom. And just to answer my question, actually, I can already take a guess for the one with. So if I'm putting that at the front and one with nothing on it towards the front also, I'm gonna check because I may have a good idea there. Let's play the game of the 7 differences. What's up? See, I'm a man to marry. Every time you're coming in, I'm cleaning stuff. Imagine that if it was like that when Flo comes home. Ayaya, let's go. Welcome back, Hawk. Yeah, imagine that if every time Flo's coming home, I'm cleaning something in the house. I can tell you it's not the case. But look, 8 pistons, all cleaned. So we're gonna check something. All right. I think I have a good idea of how we're gonna do that. Oh, maybe not. There's a 19 here, a 43 here. We have 41, 41, 44, 44, 46, 46, and these two are different. So, I'm gonna have to look how you're supposed to pair those things. Because I have no clue, but if I'm guessing, wait, I said 46, 46, they both have dots at the bottom, so probably not that. It's time for Googling some stuff, and I think I forgot my cell phone inside. Well, let's remove that for now. Oh yeah, they're so pretty. Yeah, you've seen, we have Micah in chat today. How amazing is that? Let's throw that here. All right. So no cell phone means old keyboard and Google. Whoops, I almost closed the chat. Well, that. Let's open that up. So how would I call that? I will say, I guess, LQ4. I cannot do shit. LQ4, piston, or actually, if we know it's that LY6 piston pairing. All right, LY6 factory flat top piston for LY6. They are not really flat top. Would you believe I only got one message for the inventory check keys because people are not there or too bad as they are still way behind that. Yeah, I think the guy said he will message you also he was playing the second raid with TSG. Well, I mean, like I said, I won't be sad. Like, I don't care. I don't care. I'm keeping my teammate with that, which I appreciate. So, you know. Get wrecked, soccer. All right, so just to give you an idea, the pistons here on the table are coming from a LY6 engine, which is a Gen 4, and it is doing 364 HP from factory. So these are good for at least 364 HP, and of course they are not pushing to the limit. So we're talking about pistons that we don't have to really worry about, usually under 500 HP, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna get our 600 HP with no big deal with those. All right, let me check. I think there's something here that can be funny. Some guys put those pistons into an LS3 to make more power because they have a flat top. Well, it's not true. Mine are not. I'm not exactly sure. Let me check again. Do I have a part number on those? PO41. I think that's what I look for. I mean, I've seen streamer around level 42 like getting max trader now, so that gives me a good idea of where everyone's at right now, and we are not doing bad at all. Right, that's not the right one. It's 9805, the number I need to look. 9805 is the one. So piston 9805. Sunflower dish to maybe not. Okay, the Elk 469 motors have a flat top piston, so it's not from that. Trying to make sure from what engine they are so we can check at that. The old threads from the 2000. Yep, that's exactly the same as we had. All right, give me a sec. I'm looking for the info right now. I'm gonna check at LY6 piston. Just see OEM. I think I've looked on the Rock Auto. All right, LY6 piston. Yeah, that's exactly what we have there. So standard board used. Yep. So we have that. All right. So if you want to see what I'm talking about right now, I'm just googling here and there, and that's what we have. So these are the same kind of piston with the 9805 code in there. So we are good there. So with that said, now let's take a look at the pairing, if there is any importance in that. I think it's really just material that's removed at the bottom depending on the casting to match them all together for the weight, but I'm not quite sure, so that's why I'm preferring to look. I don't think it matters. All right, I'm gonna go grab the scale inside the house and we'll see, okay? We'll see if it's like pretty much the same. So I'm gonna grab a food scale and we're just going to weight like 3-4 of them to see how much of a difference there is, and we'll see like a comparison with the one, because basically what I'm talking about right now is, look, here we have like a drilled pin on both sides, and on some we don't have that, like they are all flat. So but they are coming from the same engine. It's just that I'm wondering, is there a reason for that? So we're gonna try to find out. So be right back, guys. I'm just going to mute my mic and run inside the house. Okay, be right back. In fact, it's gonna take like a good 30 seconds more. I'm gonna go in the basement, grab more paper towel. That's big brain. Be right back. Hey, I've been speaking for read my message. I thought Micah still off. That's what I thought Mike still off was. All right, and that one you had no control on it, Micah, because it was muted, but I saw it reactivate. That's why I didn't took. All right, so welcome back, Pro Streamer. Hey, we weighted everything. I'm gonna just clean them and redo a good measuring just to make sure we don't have a false reading because it's wet. You are painful. Wait, what? I'm kidding. Sorry. Loud noise. All right, we're back and with a voice also. Wow. So we're gonna be waiting all those all over again, and we're gonna take note of which one is which. I'm gonna grab a pencil actually, and we're gonna make sure. So we're gonna be having to pair them. The idea is to basically try to match them. So every pair, so 4 of them, is weighing pretty much the same thing all across the engine. That way, the closer we are, the better it's gonna be for the engine to prevent any vibration that could be damaging actually the said engine. So that's the idea there. Good, good, good. So let's restart that. And the first one, so I just cleaned all of them to remove as much water as possible, and we already removed some weight from those. So 971. So is this pen still working? I don't think so. Let's grab another one then. And yes, I'm going to put it back straight in my toolbox, even if it's not working anymore. Are you working? You are almost good. Yeah, that's gonna be good enough. So we said 971 here. So I'm just going to basically write all of that down so we can make some maths after that. Yeah, that was 1005 and now it's 993. So super important to dry them. 993. And see, that one here and that one, that's one with no holes on top, that's one with some, so yeah. And I can still see a bit of water in here, so you know, it's not perfect, so it's just going to help get something close. Those two were the same before, now it's 2 gram different. 995, so that is going over there. 991. Oh, that one's still quite heavy. 1008. That was probably. Do we still have a lot of fluid there? Let's try to dry it even more. That was the last one we did, so maybe I went a bit too quick on it. Loud noise. Just doing that, I remove like a solid, like a few grams out there. I wasn't over the 1000 and I'm at 990 right now. So see, I wonder if we shouldn't be leaving them overnight to make sure they are as dry as possible and restart that even tomorrow. But let's keep going for now, but yeah, I need to take care of that. Like, see, that one is still super high too, so we're gonna clean that even more. Loud noise. Loud noise. just remove quite a bit of weight on it just by drying it even more. So yeah, that's gonna be something to be aware of. And I wonder if tomorrow's not going to be a better day for that. But for now, let's take all the measurement. 985. It's giving quite a good idea so overall. Like we should all be towards like and in between and close enough to a real gauge there. Most of it being under it actually. So if I'm just putting that again, still the same result, yes. I need to take care. Alright, is that it? Alright, so depending on where I'm putting that, it's actually changing quite a lot. So there's... Oh, okay. 997, loud noise. Alright, so right now the thing I realized is that the more I'm at that corner, the lower is the number, and the more I'm at this corner, the higher is the number. So I'm gonna have to take care of that. But now I have something that seems pretty similar to everything else. So 991, we have already like 3 of them being around that. And yeah, so now we seem to have a measurement that's pretty right up there for most of them, so we're gonna be able to try to match them together. So probably like the one of the highest number like here and one of the lowest here, that's doing about a 990 average. 993 if we have something about 990 a little bit. We have one super low here too, so we probably are going to match those two, and then probably that highest one there to the 990 and then the other one together. So that's the idea, I think. At least that's what we're going to do. Like I said, I think I'm gonna leave that there for now, let them dry overnight just to make sure maybe tomorrow to make a better measurement out of all that. So we might even try to make sure we are putting everything in the same spot at all time. So yeah, let's see that later on. For now, we're gonna move and start putting our flywheel in place. So for the flywheel, if I can move that backward a little bit, we're gonna come in here and pretty much, I'm just going to clean that up. We're just going to clean it slightly, like really quickly. So I'm just going to cover that just to make sure we are on something a bit cleaner for the surface. There, put back our gloves. We're gonna go ahead and put some stuff on here. So this is a flywheel, this is freaking heavy. Starter motor, if you didn't know, it's grabbing on those teeth right here. So if you want to see them properly, boop, there you go. So you have teeth all around that wheel here, and this is basically where the starter motor is gonna grab onto to make that spin and start the engine. Here, this is where our clutch is going to sit, and it's gonna grip on that surface right here to basically make the engine move forward. So that's why we have bolts, due to the fact that we are using a dual clutch system. We're gonna be using those bolts. So I'm just going to scratch those rusty point there to make sure we have a good finish and that it is all clean. Before the final assembly, I'm pretty sure we're going to make sure to clean also almost every teeth one for one. So as crazy as it seems, this is just to assure us that there's no big dirt in there that will fall into the bell housing of the clutch system and the link between transmission and engine basically. So yeah. All right, there we go. So let's grab that. And that's why we're cleaning. The only thing is I need to keep that blue mark in there. Like, I need to make sure I'm not erasing it totally, because otherwise I'm gonna have a bad time putting back my clutch in place. Let's already turn that over just to make sure we're not just dragging the dust around but really removing some. So basically the reason that flywheel did rust just a touch, which I hate because it's brand new, is because I had to send it to the machine shop that balanced the crank. So they actually used it. Therefore, they probably removed the protection oil on top, and that created the possibility to get some rust in there. Which is not the greatest, but I mean, it's part of the game, they had to, so it's just me that should have tried to assemble the engine sooner. But hey, part of the game. Or actually, maybe put back some oil on it, but again, you don't want to put engine oil, so I don't even know what kind. Probably WD-40 would have done the job. So I'm just going to slightly scratch the surface there, trying to remove those rusty points. So I'm just trying to make sure I'm not scratching too hard the surface, because that one I can see I'm scratching it a little bit. I'm pretty sure it will all buff out with the wheel, but yeah, with the clutch I mean. But yeah, we're just going to try to make sure we are removing any contamination there. Yeah, I don't want to go too hard on it, so I think that's gonna be it for now. Because basically this is a CNC flywheel, so that's why the finish is getting damaged a little bit with the Scotch-Brite, so don't want to be too hard on it. But again, corrosion is not the best thing, so I'm pretty sure though it's enough on the surface that once we're gonna start basically putting the clutch in action, it's gonna remove all that. It's not like it's been sitting for years, not being used, or like looking in really bad shape and damaged deeply. So let's go. From there, I'm gonna move you guys, probably disconnecting the cam 2 or 3 times. No, not too bad. And basically we want to put that wheel at the back of the engine. So like I said, this is a connection between transmission and engine. So we need to put that there, and that will allow us to block the thing if it was fitting in there. Yikes. Maybe I can disconnect those. That's not great though, but if I can disconnect those long bolts, I could actually slide it in place. Because I really need that to lock the timing of the engine there, because we don't have an efficient way to prevent that from moving. and we're gonna be working on those. All right, let's try to see if we can just go ahead and remove them. Is 8 too big? Yes, it is. All right, let's see. That's too small for sure. 6 is too small. 7 maybe. 7 is the perfect fit. All right, so I'm gonna try to remove those long bolts on top of the flywheel over there. So this way we should be able to put it on top of the crank. So this seems to be, all right, is that a reverse? No, I'm not sure I will be able to. Oh yes. I just want to make sure. I'm stressed to do that. I don't feel like I'm supposed to touch that. But it just seated to its spot, basically. It's just that I want to make sure. Yeah, because here it's not seated entirely, so maybe there's a height that needs to be respected in those. So I'm gonna take a measurement and note that to make sure we are not changing that in the future. My door is opening. I'm gonna go close it. So I'm gonna make sure that first of all, everything's at the same height. So I just went on and grabbed the measurement on the one I already touched, which is 46 mil. And see here, I'm not scratching. So that will be more 47. 46, 46, 47, 46. So 46 will be a really good measurement. All right. I forgot my cell phone again. I'm gonna post it on the desktop. So that we will remember. Sticky note. Plus flywheel long bolts, 46 mil to 47 mil. That's the measurement there. All right. So with that noted, now I feel safe to remove them. Because it's like, you can remove them basically. Looking at it, you can. It's just that after that, is it going to be painful to put it back in place? Also, what we're gonna look for is if we have any thing in there holding the threads, and I think we do. So there was a bit of Loctite or something similar in there. Thread lock, whatever it was, because I can see it right in the threads there. That's why they are hard to remove. So we're gonna put some more when we're gonna relock them in place. So maybe, oh no, because we're gonna have to spin that in there. Never mind. Light duty thread locker. I just ripped my glove. Light duty, yeah, like the blue one basically, the thread locks, the blue thread locking thing. Because basically you need to be able to remove it if you need to. Non-permanent, aka doesn't take blowtorch, and yeah, exactly. So the blue one usually is for thread locking, but if you have to do maintenance, you can always remove them. And that's a great thing, because basically you don't want that to fall apart in the clutch system. However, you want to be able to remove them if you need to resurface the actual the actual flywheel. I don't know how these other ones are stuck in there, so like you cannot, or probably a double washer technique to remove those. Lithium grease, etc. Yeah, exactly. I love the blue thread locker from Permadex. It's working great. Like here, I need to put quite a bit of force, but I'm getting there without too much difficulties. There you go. So let's throw that in place. All over again. Now that should fit there. Is it? Oh, fucking hell, it's not even going there. Yikes. So how are we going to do that? Because even just the wheel, I don't think it is going in place. Like this is supposed to go this way, even there. Just the wheel itself cannot slide in there. Yikers. All right. Let's be inventive here. Any other way I can lock that? I mean, I have holes in here. I could use a pin, but not ideal. I don't want to be pushing on the sensor, the reluctor wheel also. Oh, maybe I know what we could do. If I was drilling a hole in that plate to put a lock pin in there, that could not move anymore. That would actually be working. Or just clamping something here. I really just need a locking pin basically, just to make something that will lock. Yes, I do have one, so I could hang it in there. It's just going to be shitty to push the piston when everything is going all around, so that's why. And I don't have my plate also. I need to write to the guy again. For that, I'll share it to a friend, and haven't seen it since then. So yeah, because we're gonna go there, we're gonna go then there, and then at the end there. But pretty much every time it's lining up with something there, I think, yep. So the rule is pretty much true, and we have that one worst case. So basically I could make just a plate with, wait a sec, I think I even have, I don't think this is steel too. So that, because that here has threads. Basically, how it looks down your motor. Since your local place has an adapter plate, maybe, but like nothing I can grab today for sure. Just gotta think about it, because honestly, it shouldn't be that much of a big deal. Like here, I could set a screwdriver in there. Like, look at this. If I was to put a screwdriver or whatever, like a wrench right there, well, that's not the best because it's too big. There, it's stuck. It's stuck on one side, not two, but if I'm torquing everything coming this way, it will try to turn this way. When this one's up here, I could lock it probably towards this way, maybe like that. And now I could be torquing, always bringing the force towards me. So I think there's a way to do it this way. Yeah, there's not enough. This is the one I bought. Let me check that. Oh, you're talking about, oh, okay, a plate at the front there. Yeah, that's not bad. I see where it's locking to. The only thing I will say is that we're working way too much at the front right now, and my my double roller is basically sticking out. Oh, okay, it's a plate like this. Oh, okay, it's going and spacing out with that. That's cool. Yeah, that will be a great addition to hold it at the front. That will be cool. Yeah, I don't think anyone I know right now has one, but it could be a really great thing. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I can make it out without it right now. Like even here. Yeah, just locking that. So basically I can lock that one. I can definitely lock that one this side, the second one. Then the third one here, again, this side right here, punk. We are fixed. I cannot move it towards that direction there. And it's not forcing on any bad surface. And the last one there, just like this. Yeah, I can lock all of them pretty much with just a screwdriver in the right place. That handle, so there's no metal on metal. Yeah, true. True. Not that I'm really worried about, because it's just on the balancer part of the crank. It's not like on journal, because like, yeah, like in that corner here, if I'm just doing that, see, the engine locks straight there, so we're not reinforcing, but like you said, can put the masking tape on it just to make sure we're not forcing any metal on metal. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I can do it this way. And I thought of it because basically you can do that on the BMWs to help you out. So, all right, well, we remove that for absolutely nothing. I'm not gonna lie, part of me would just like to throw them back in there without even caring about putting some more thread locks, because the threads are already full of schmutz, but I don't think that's the right thing. So we're gonna just put a tiny amount of thread lock on top of them. Just need to find it there. Where's my thread locker? So we're just going to go, I'm gonna clean it up because it's all dusty. I do that to my channel locks, so I do yeah, that's a good habit. There we go. So is it still good? Oh, it's brand new, that one. Hey, hey. I probably finished my little bottle on the BMW actually, so that one was brand new. Yay. Good, good, good. Let's go. Let's just put that back together. Just a bit of thread locking. Making sure that we're not contaminating anything. There we go. Boom. Let's close that here. And once we're gonna be done with those, I'm gonna also check before putting back the clutch. I think there's all the torques for those bolts and stuff that we need in place. So that's no big deal. I'm making sure I'm not stripping anything. I'm just sitting them in place. Everything should be at around 46 millimeter of depth. Everything's snug and tight. It's pretty much fitted to the maximum amount there. I'm pretty sure there was actually one loose. So it's just going to be a nice little thing we're doing. So let's remove the over of Loctite there, and everything's going to dry to its full strength before we even want to put that back in the car. So that's perfect. That's what we love to see. There we go. So everything's back in place. Let's just take the measurement again. So 46 mil. Perfect. Perfect. Slightly loose. Slightly loose. Perfect. Yep, everything is right there. So the slightly loose are the one almost at 47, but pretty much everything was fitted like this. So there we go. Hopla. Let's throw that back in its box. Cool. So we're gonna take a look at the book and see what we can do with that. So here we go. Front cam. There we go. Hey, hey. So with that said, we've done all that. Install timing set and verify camshaft end plate. That's what we did this morning. So I'm skipping a page there, I think. Hey, hey, yeah. All right. That's what they are doing. They are adding the flywheel, and basically they have a locker that goes straight into the starter place to lock it in place. But honestly, I'm pretty sure I can do it the way I'm talking about. So, measuring rod bearing clearance is a little more involved than checking those of the main bearing because of the need to prevent the crankshaft from spinning in the block. So you really need to make sure it's not spinning at all, which is not the easiest thing to do the way we're about to do it, but it's gonna work perfectly still. I just want to take a look at one thing, so because maybe we could have even cheated something there. No, we cannot. Okay. Okay. Very good. The only true reliable way to do this is to install the flywheel, but we don't have that luxury right there just because the way our engine is mounted and everything. So let's forget about that and let's move forward. All right. Once the crank is locked in place, flip the engine on its stand so that it is right side up. Install the unlubricated rod bearing shells into the rods, and you are using some high performance bearings have chamfered edge as well. Distinct upper and lower halves. Be sure to note this. Perfect. There is no need for piston rings during this process. Lightly lubricate the cylinder wall and carefully install both the piston rod assemblies for that crank journal into the block. One at a time, tilting the engine on its stand to have the deck surface horizontal for each. Deck surface horizontal, that's not what I'm seeing there, but okay. Oh, okay, yeah, I get it. Perfect. So we're gonna be doing that and that, perfect. Don't nick the crank journal on the way down. Okay, yeah, okay, perfect. So we need to basically push the piston really slowly and tilt up the connecting rod to make sure we're not scratching the journal surface with that. Install the rod caps temporarily so that the piston rods do not fall out when the engine is flipped. Make the bolts hand tight. Note we are using the forwardmost crank journal here, which correspond to the rod bearing for cylinder 1 and 2. Yeah, thought it's possible to check rod bearing clearance on only one crank journal. As so any doubt about your crank or rods should prompt you to verify them all. We're gonna go ahead and do all of them just for the sake of it. So we don't want to leave a little doubt in there. So we're gonna go ahead and pair those pistons, and once the pistons are paired together, we're gonna go and test them on each journal bearing they're going to do on the crank. They're going to go. So basically, with that said, that means that once this process is gonna be done, we're gonna be in a position where we are able to say, okay, piston identified as this and this are going on journal 1. There's 4 of them, so we're gonna have a pair matching to a specific spot there. So that's gonna be easier for us to keep going through the next steps. Perfect. So we're gonna be checking that 16, 17. So flip the engine over on its stand so that the oil pan mounting surface is horizontal. Now remove a rod cap and lay a strip of plastic gauge on the upper shell of the rod. Okay, wait, what? Oh, okay. On the upper shell of the rod bearing, the lower shell in the rod cap, and corresponding surface on the crank journal cannot be used as plastic gauge reading. Why? It will be affected during the removing of the cap. Okay, that's why. Use extreme care to not allow the piston to fall out the top of the bore while the rod cap is off. Consider installing a top bend center stop or similar device as a safety precaution. This is what it is. Alright, that's a good idea, but I don't think we have anything for that. But I know what we're going to do. So basically when we're gonna do the test for one side, we're gonna be basically putting the plastic gauge, but we're probably going to clamp a piece of metal over the cylinder head surface just to prevent any moment where I could drop by mistake the actual piston through the engine block, which will suck. So we're gonna try to prevent that by just clamping a piece of metal on top, like a flat bar. That's gonna prevent that. So that's a good thing. That's gonna be helpful. So yeah, let's go with that. Okay, with the plastic gauge in, reinstall the rod cap and make the bolt hand tight. Repeat the plastic gauge installation procedure for the other rod. Now inserting 2 filler gauge or similar items between the rods to prevent twisting on the journal. 2 filler gauges. Why 2? One on each side. Okay, okay. See step 22 in chapter 8 for road bolts tightening instruction. Perfect. Okay, all right, so that's gonna be quite a thing. Hello, Jacobson. How are you doing today? Hope you're doing great. We are working our way around that freaking engine. So one step at a time, but we have basically all cleaned up. The 8 pistons are all cleaned up now, and we are looking at the procedure to measure the gap between the bearing surface of those and the actual crankshaft, so that we're gonna have some proper measurement. It will be interesting. All right. I could also maybe use 2 pieces of metal there. Wow, whatever. We're gonna manage that out. So that's done, and next page we're gonna read the full thing there. With all pistons, rod assemblies removed from the engine. Clean any and all rod bearing and crankshaft journal of plastic gauge remnant. Install the number 1 and 2 rods on the forwardmost crank journal, this time lubricating both the bearing surface and the journal, tightening the rod bolts to spec, noting that there is no need to keep the rod from twisting on the journal this time around. Using filler gauge, measure the clearance between the connecting rod. Rod clearance should be 0.0043 to 0.02 inches for stock steel or titanium rods. For aftermarket rods, follow the connecting rod manufacturer recommendation. For best results, you should install the reminder of your piston rod assemblies and repeat the process on all crank journal. May now remove the pistons and rod from the engine. High performance application must have their rods installed during the next several pre-assembly step. Well, that's what we're gonna do. High performance, that's talking to me. So yeah, so basically now that this is said, we're gonna go ahead. I was thinking about leaving them to dry overnight, which now seems kind of impossible because we are at the step where we need to install them. So we're gonna clean the crank journal surface because there's a bit of oil on there and we need that to be dry. And after that, we're gonna make sure everything's looking great. So I know the next few steps are a bit, I was to say useless. Not useless, but it's gonna be about finding the true top dead center. And other than that, we're gonna be pretty much moving forward to installing everything else. They said that for standard stuff, we could remove them. We are like an in-between because these are not aftermarket pistons. So basically we could remove them, but since we're looking for high performance stuff, well, we're gonna be keeping them to look at what is the rest of the procedure. Right now, like I said, I'm going to basically clean the journal here on the crank. Then we're gonna take a look and see which one we are matching together. I'm gonna take another measurement on the scale of for those piston assembly, making sure I'm trying to lay them down in the center perfectly. We might just not put a piece of towel under them and just go ahead straight on the plate because we can always clean that up. So there we go. If you want to see, dual side. There you go. So basically here, the only thing I'm gonna do, and that's gonna be better if I'm tilting that this way, is like just make sure to clean those a little bit, making sure that, you see, I removed that kind of schmutz that can have drop on it. And then I'm gonna spin that up, do the same process. I'm gonna fold that on the other side here. Even if we have cleaned it, it's still a little bit dirty. So yeah, and we have to prevent that from moving during the assembly. That one was pretty clean, so let's move that here. That one has oil on it, so that's a good thing that we are actually cleaning that, because we need that to be dry. There we go. That one, same thing, there's quite a bit of oil in there, so I'm just gonna go on this side now. Remove that from here, making sure I'm not leaving a bit of towel there. Gonna flip that. There we go. Boom. So these are now all cleaned up, so that's perfect. So now we're gonna move back to the first one being on top here, and we're gonna start matching our pistons again. So we're gonna weight them all over again. So there we go. Boom, like this. So I'm gonna use the scale here, and I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to make sure I'm laying them down right in the center of that, and all orientated with that towards the top there. 995. So you see I'm not getting the same measurement I had there, so I'm just going to make sure I'm using the same procedure for everything. In fact, I'm going to do that. That's gonna be even better. So I'm just going to center that with the top at the top there. So 984, that's gonna be our new measurement for that one. So I'm just going to write it there, 984. So all the one on top there are going to be our second measurement, to make sure we are measuring them all the same way. So that should help to add a bit more. Yeah, see, 982 on that one. So only 2 grams of difference, which is resulting in almost the same exact result, because we know we have a bit of a difference in the way we are weighting them right now. So we need to take that in consideration. But at least now, 983, yeah, we are way closer, 983. So I don't think it matters which one has a dot or not, because basically the one that has no dot at the back is the lightest right now. So before it was really just a matter of where we were placing them on top here. 981. That's a really good way to do it, by the way, having a towel and basically writing your measurement right on top there. It's helping you so much to keep track of everything. Like you can do that with compression test and stuff like that. So 982. Like if you have some spark plug and stuff, you can lay down from cylinder 1 to 8, have a compression test going on, and see what's happening in there. There we go, 980. Yeah, we are right in the spot. The first one is still the heavier so far, but like by nothing. That one's super light on the floating pin. .978, I'm gonna move it around just to see if it's not that. 980 now. 980. So yeah, that scale is not the best for precision stuff, but hey, at least we're having a good idea when we're 981. And we're measuring the same way, 981. Cool. There you go. So from now, we are able to say like, hey, we're gonna grab like the 980 or 980 there with the first one here, because basically we want to balance every journal the best as we can. But pretty much we are all in the same ballpark right now. It's not as different as it was earlier, and still some of them are maybe not as dry as others. So that's why we won't be taking too much of a big deal of that. They are all in the same range pretty much. So we're just going to match them depending on that. So that's giving us a really, really good idea. What time is it? Oh shit, 16, 17 already, damn. Yikes. All right, guys. My alarm was inside, eh? Because I forgot my cell phone. I need to go. I have a class in an hour and I need to prepare for that. I need to take a shower and everything. So finally, they're going to stay there overnight. So we're gonna be back tomorrow on that, and we're gonna keep going. I'm gonna think on how to block that crankshaft even more then, because I'm gonna have time for that. And basically, I'm gonna also check on the internet. Might have a good trick for that. So thank you for being here again. I enjoyed that really, really much. I appreciate the company in here, and we have a blast so far on that project there. So I'll see you tomorrow, 9:30-ish, and I'll be back for more engine action. So love you all. Bye-bye. Have a good night.